Welcome back for day 11. Tonight we're focusing on creating space. So our intention for tonight's practice is really focused on making space. And we'll definitely do that in the physical body through the practice tonight. We'll stretch and we'll get into some of those tighter areas. But think about it also in the sense of letting go of what doesn't serve you anymore, allowing space for whatever is next, whatever is to come. So it's a process. You have to let go of the old stuff, and then you make room, you make space for whatever's next. So I think we have to think about it not just in the physical aspect, but just in overall how can we create space for ourselves going forward. So with that, I will see you on the mat. Welcome back for day 11. So we're going to start lying down. If you have a pillow and blanket nearby, I would grab those to just give yourself the option for some support in this first posture where we're going to start tonight. So I'm taking my pillow and my blanket here, and I'm just putting them on either side in front of me. And then you'll come down onto your back. And then bring the soles of the feet together, and you can let the knees come out on top of those pillows or blankets, and maybe you want a little more stretch here tonight. So if you do, or today, whenever you're doing this, if you want a little more, then don't use these and let the knees come down further toward the floor. If you're looking for a more supported beginning of the practice, which I like, then try the pillow and the blanket, or two pillows or two blankets, whatever works. And then start to let everything else just get heavy. And maybe it feels nice tonight to rest one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. And start to check out of the thinking mind, which we use all day long. And see if you can start to check into your physical body. So where are you holding on to tension? What stuff are you bringing with you? Maybe come back to that intention of, where do I need to create more space today? Sometimes we know right away, like my shoulders are all tense, or my knee has been bothering me, or whatever it is for you. And sometimes we don't really know where we're holding on to that tension until we get into the practice, and then you're moving through and you all of a sudden realize, oh my gosh, that area is so tight. So that may happen for you tonight. So as always, everything is a suggestion. Take what you need and start to deepen the inhale and the exhale. So see if you can really start to pay attention to where it's going when you're taking that big inhale. Follow it all the way down. Maybe try holding it at the top and then taking in a little bit more air and then letting it go. And keeping with a consistent, slow, deep inhale and exhale. And try your best to stick with that through the practice, because the breath can really be a tool. It can help you deepen some of these stretches. And when you find your mind starting to wander, just come back to that intention of, where do I want to make more space here? What can I let go of? So take 2 more really big cycles of breath here. And then bring the knees together. We're going to just get rid of, if you have those supports near you, then just move them to the side. Give yourself a little space to move. And then coming back on your back, extending both legs out. We're going to start with the right side and we're going to just bring that to the shoulder and then into your chest, and then give it a squeeze. And then see how it feels to grab the bottom or the back of your foot here and then just extend it up toward the ceiling. Keeping that left leg extended, that left foot is flexed. Just play with that sensation. See where maybe there's some tight areas here underneath the inner thigh. And then see if you can start to, on the exhale, bring your right shoulder down into your underarm, a little closer toward the floor. And you may be up here. So just play with what flexibility you have. And that's where the breath can be a tool, because as you're breathing through these really long, deep exhales, can you start to bring that knee a little closer to the floor every time? And you start to create space there. And maybe if you do have the bottom of your foot, maybe just give yourself a little foot massage here too. Maybe just rub the bottoms of your feet. Pay attention to some of those areas that we don't really get to during the day. And keep breathing. So from here, we're going to take that left hand to the right knee. That right arm can come down to the floor, and you're just going to bring that knee all the way over toward the left side, as far as it will go. And if it feels okay in your body, your gaze can go to the right. And again, breathe into this space. See if you can create a little more. As you're exhaling, can that knee come down to the floor a little further? One more big breath here. And then inhale, we'll bring that knee all the way back up to center, and you'll extend that right leg all the way out. And then give yourself a little shimmy or adjust if you need to. We're going to the other side. So you're going to bring that left knee up toward the shoulder and then in. Give it a little squeeze. Maybe rotate the ankle, flex the foot here. And then see how it feels to grab the bottom of your foot or the back of your shin, somewhere there, and see if you can guide that knee down toward your shoulder and the foot comes up toward the ceiling. And that right leg is extended, right foot is flexed. And then just play with deepening your sensation here. So as you're exhaling, can you bring that knee down a little further? Maybe smile. Be happy to have the time here on your mat. See what you can let go of. And then when you're ready, we'll take that knee in with the right hand over that left knee. You're going to guide it all the way over toward the right. Left hand comes down onto the floor. If it feels okay in your body, you can let the gaze go over to the left. So a nice spinal twist here. And again, breathe into this. See if you can let that knee come down any further toward the floor. And really work on lengthening and deepening the inhales and the exhales. You can really feel a difference when you're in a twist like this. You'll feel the difference that a big breath can make and the expansion that you get. And then when you're ready, we'll bring that knee back up. Bring the other one in. Give both knees a squeeze here. And then we'll take a couple rock and rolls on the spine. Come all the way up and find your easy seat. So to find your easy seat, you just want to take that extra time to just adjust the sits bones and make sure that your spine is nice and long, head is coming up toward the ceiling. Bring the shoulders down and back. Just make all those little tweaks, all those little adjustments that you need to make to set yourself up. And then come back to the breath. So really deep inhales, really long exhales. And we're going to take some neck stretches here. So you're just going to let the right ear come down toward the right shoulder. And again, keeping the shoulders down and back. Don't let them roll forward. You'll feel a stretch here, and you can add to it by letting that left hand come out to the side and then making this little stop sign position. And you can lift it up and bring it back until you feel that nice, big, deep stretch on the left. And breathe into that. And you'll know when you're there. So if you don't feel it, then just play around with, maybe move your arm up a little or back a little, but play around with it until you find that nice, deep stretch. And then we'll let that left hand come back down and then exhale, chin to chest. So getting a stretch in the back of the neck, keeping the shoulders down and back. And then you can let your left ear come down toward that left shoulder. So find that nice deep stretch on the right side now. Again, keeping that alignment. And then you can extend the right arm and play with that and see if you can get a deeper stretch on the right side now. So again, making that stop sign symbol gesture with your hand. And then you can just extending the arm, bringing it up and then maybe back a little. And then let that left ear come down toward the left shoulder. And you will know when you find it. This is a pretty deep stretch. And then breathe into that. Can you make a little more space there? I mean, if you really find this in that sweet spot, you can feel it all the way up to that jawline. It can be a nice, really deep, intense stretch, but take what you need from it. If it's too much, then just come back to that regular neck stretch. One more breath here. And then you'll let that right arm come back down. And again, let the chin come down to the chest. And then here, maybe take the hands with the elbows parallel to opposite sides. And then use your hands not to push, but just to guide the chin toward the chest a little more. And maybe round it out here like you do in your cat-cow. So round that spine out and really tuck the chin in. Really deepen that stretch in the back of the neck. And then inhale, come back up. And then bring your head all the way back up. Let the hands come back down. We're going to take some side body stretches here. So extending that right leg all the way out. And again, this is where you may want to use the support. So have that nearby. So you'll bring the left foot into the right inner thigh. Right leg is extended, right foot is flexed. And then we'll let that right arm come down. So again, first check in with your alignment. Is my spine straight? Is everything where it needs to be? Are my shoulders down and back? Is my neck long? And then right arm down inside that inner thigh area, sort of parallel to right where your knee is. And then you'll lift that left arm all the way up toward the ceiling, keeping the shoulders down and back. Big side body stretch here. And really reach up toward the ceiling as if you're going to grab something off the ceiling. Not dumping weight into the right arm, but just keeping yourself balanced here, using your core. Big, deep breaths. Maybe you rotate the wrist here, flex the fingers. One more big inhale, one more big exhale. And then inhale, come all the way back up to center. We're going to turn the hips toward that right foot. We've done this a few times, so if you're following along, this may start to feel familiar, which is great. It means you're developing a practice. So you can tilt the hips toward that right foot is flexed, and then you can make that little support with your pillows and blankets if you want to come over that and make this more of a restorative posture to get a deeper stretch. Because this practice is really about making space. It's not about moving through like a vinyasa, but more about deepening our stretch a little in these postures. So maybe you feel like you need a little more. So you can take the approach of making it more restorative so that you can settle in. And maybe that's what you need today, and that's fine. Or you can just come all the way down and see where your forward fold is without any support. So take what you need, but find a place where you can really settle in here. So finding all of those little parts that you want to check in with for alignment first, and then tilting toward that right foot. We'll reach the arms all the way up toward the ceiling. Really reach as if you're grabbing something off the ceiling, and then exhale, bring it all the way down over that right leg, wherever it takes you. Find a place that you can settle in. You don't have to hyperextend the legs here. You can have a little bend in the knee. It's all about making a little more space. Every time you practice, as you're exhaling, can you get a little deeper? Can you let yourself get a little heavier here? And part of it too is learning to sit with that discomfort. So it's a stretch. It should feel like a stretch. So you're teaching your body to sit with that. And as you exhale, what can you let go of here? One more big inhale and one more big exhale here. And then inhale, we'll come all the way back up. And we're going to switch sides. So you're going to bring that right foot in, extend that left leg out. Make any little adjustments that you need to. So starting with our side body stretch here. So first, make sure your alignment is where you want it. I know I'm a broken record, but it's important. And then you'll drop that left arm down in the inner thigh knee area here, and then extend that right leg all the way. Sorry, right arm all the way up toward the ceiling. Oh my. And really reach as if you're grabbing something off the ceiling. I hope you guys are laughing along with me. And not dumping weight into that left side here, but just holding yourself up here with your core and just using that to help you balance. Don't lose the shoulders, keep them down and back. One more big inhale, one more big exhale. And then inhale, come all the way back up. And then we'll tilt the hips so you're coming toward that leg. And then again, if you need to, you can set yourself up with your pillows and blankets here and take that forward fold with some support. Or you can just come all the way down if you feel like you need a little more, or you want to just play with how far you can go. So that right leg is extended, right foot is flexed. You're tilting the hips toward that leg. And then bring the shoulders down and back. Everything is nice and long and straight. And then inhale, bring the arms all the way up toward the ceiling. Breathe. And exhale, come forward. And use your breath as a tool here to really allow yourself to see if you can get a little bit deeper, get a little bit more space. And go back to those really deep inhales and exhales that we started with. If your mind starts to wander, come back to that intention of creating space and what can I let go of? How can I make more space? One more big inhale, one more big exhale here. And then we'll inhale, come all the way back up, and we're meeting on hands and knees. So from your hands and knees, we'll take a couple of cat-cows. So checking in your tabletop position here, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Your spine is nice and long. Neck is long. And then you're going to inhale, drop the belly, chin comes up, tailbone comes up, and take this nice and deep. So really big, deep inhale and really stretch, really dip the navel down, bring the tailbone up, bring the chin up, really exaggerate it. Exhale, round it out, same thing. Excuse me, try to exaggerate it here. So really rounding it out. Really tucking the chin in. Really tucking the navel up to the spine. 2 more like that. And then we're gonna let yourself drop down onto your forearms, and then melt the heart down. So reaching the fingertips forward. Nice deep stretch here. You're keeping the hips lifted. And you can have your head with the forehead to the mat, or maybe you lie on one side or the other, or maybe you take your chin to the mat so you get a little bit deeper of a stretch in the neck. And again, we have to let the pose do its work. So use your breath as a tool. As you exhale, can you let yourself melt into this a little more? Two more really big inhales and exhales here. And then we'll come back up to our tabletop position. And we're going to push all the way up into downward facing dog. And from your down dog here, we're going to come into a lizard. So we're going to kick that right leg all the way out and then bring it up and between the palms as best you can. And if you need to sort of shimmy to get there, that's fine. And then drop that left knee down, and you're going to bring that right hand into the inner part of the right foot. So it's really important, again, to find this alignment before you try to get into this. And then you'll keep hugging that right knee in toward your shoulder. We're dropping down onto the forearms here. So you're getting a nice deep stretch underneath that left hip area. Check in with the shoulders. Keep the neck nice and long. Keep that right knee hugging in toward the shoulder. And breathe. You can tuck the toes here if that feels better to you, or you can have the foot flat here. And again, breathe through the discomfort. Two more breaths. And then to come out, you're going to come back up onto the palms and bring the palms to frame the foot again. Tuck the toes on the left side. Come back up into your downward facing dog. And then maybe pedal it out here. Take a breath. And then we'll kick that left leg out. Bring that left knee up in between the palms, and then come down onto that right leg. And then again, take that extra time to just check in and find your alignment. You'll bring that left hand into the inner part of the left foot, and you're going to continue to hug that left knee in toward your shoulder as you come down onto your forearms. and breathe. And this side, again, you can tuck the toes if you'd rather or keep the foot flat. So figure out where you can settle in. And it may feel different from one side to the other. You may notice that one side is tighter than the other. So really try to breathe into that tight area. See if you can create space. One more big inhale. One more big exhale. And then to come out, we'll push into the palms, come all the way up onto that right knee. And then you can kick that left leg back. And we're going to bring the knees as wide as the yoga mat and sink all the way back onto the heels. And in extended child's pose. And breathe here. Try to let this be a very grounding pose for you. Maybe you rock your head from side to side and give your forehead a little massage. Maybe you bring the hands behind the back of the neck in a namaste formation and walk the elbows toward the front of the yoga mat and get a little deeper stretch in the underarms. Come back to those really long inhales and exhales that we started with. Come back to your intention. If you're holding on to anything, see if you can just let it go now. See if you can sink that tailbone a little further down toward your heels. Let everything get a little heavier. And then when you're ready, we'll come all the way up. And we will meet in an easy seat. Hopefully you were able to create a little space for yourself in the body and the mind. So when you're ready to close out our practice, we'll bring the thumbs to the heart center. And bowing my chin to my chest, the light in me honors the light in all of you. Thank you so much for following along, for practicing, and for taking this time for yourself to create space. Namaste.